Hey everyone, this is the first training session where we've actually been able to sit down and do what I had programmed, what I had wanted. Been having a lot of issues at work that are affecting what we're doing in the gym, so we've been kind of hitting the main lifts and leaving. So we're starting off this workout here with squats, trying to work up heavy, get some singles and double work in, because we haven't done much of that in the last 2 months. So here's Glenn with 365 pounds. This was something that Glenn's been very hit or miss. First rep wasn't too bad, granted it was slow, but that second one you can see him start to tip forward and do a squat morning. So that's something we really have to work on. And I keep yelling hips because I'm trying to get him to use glute activation to finish the lift instead of leaning forward and then finishing it with his back and hamstrings. So here's me with 365, going beltless, just trying to get a couple reps in. And as we are going heavy, one of the things I want to do is keep my total reps under 5, leave something in there for when I get heavy. And this 365 felt pretty easy. Granted, I was training with 355 for reps for the competition, so that doesn't mean very much here. Glenn, this is him with 395 pounds, and this is only 10 pounds shy of his max. He wanted to see if he could get this for a single, and then the plan was if he could do this for a single, he was going to move up and go ahead and try a 405, which is his max, or 410 pounds. However, as you see here, it just wasn't going to happen. He got stuck coming out, didn't have enough speed or power, and he just got pinned. Now that is not how you want to bail on a squat, and you can see him crawl away, and that's what happened if you bail badly. And of course you're risking hurting your back. So I don't advise anyone fail that way. And here's me doing my last warm-up set, I guess you would call it, 405 pounds. Put on the belt for this. And you can see here, this is the first time I've had over 400 pounds on my back since June. And I'm starting to get a little bit of instability in my feet, and it's transferring up. So definitely need to work on that, but that's why we wanted to go heavy in the squats to see where we're at. So here we took off 10 pounds for Glenn. This is 385 pounds. Wanted to see if he could do that for a single.
Fist back. There you go. Up, glutes, glutes,
And again,
glutes,
starting
glutes,
to lean
glutes,
forward,
glutes.
but he did manage to stop himself from falling too far forward and finished it. So that wasn't too bad. But again, we're getting some grinding and some leaning, so definitely need to work on speed there. Here's me with 435 pounds. And again, very slow right there. Didn't get stuck, but I'm still having some instability. So I wanted to go ahead and throw 455 on there for my last set of singles. And this one's quite interesting. If you can look here as I come up, I actually push myself back onto my heels, which is where I should have been for the entire lift. But with training all of the reps that I was doing, I started having a tendency to shift my weight to my toes. So definitely have to fix that as the weight gets heavy. And I wanted to play around with some different bench angles for the camera here. This is 225 pounds, and we're just trying to do some rep work. As I said in the last video, we've started benching again. This is the first time benching in over 3 months, and we're both really adjusting the form. So we're working some reps in there, trying to get the motor recruitment pattern to work right. Both Glenn and I adjusted our hand width, and I've been having trouble with my right shoulder, so I can't go as wide as I want to go with the bench. And for strongman, you do want to bench somewhat narrow, so you're still developing the triceps. But I really want to try and do a powerlifting competition, so I've widened it just enough that it's not hurting my shoulder. Definitely, I'm enjoying how it feels. I think it will definitely work out, but it has caused me to lose quite a bit of my bench, in addition to taking so much time off, and the same with Glenn. I've also adjusted how I'm putting my feet, and I can't get much of an arch because of my back problems, but where I've got my feet now, I'm getting better leg drive, and I'm not having any problems with my butt coming off the bench, which has been a problem in the past for me, where I had my legs positioned, I could not push up. So there were a couple of different tutorials I was watching, a couple of the new Mark Bell videos that he put out. He had a couple of big benchers on there doing different interviews, and I tried some of their tips, and it's definitely working for me. This right here is 235 pounds. Again, just trying to rep it out. And you can see there, Glenn's butt did come off the bench. He's playing around with his leg placement as well, trying to get a position that it's not going to come off the bench when he pushes his heels down into the ground. And again, just 235. Look at that belly. Definitely need to work on that at some point. Next year's project. See, like right here, you can see every time I touch the chest and come back up, I'm activating the legs, but my butt is not leaving the bench. So that's really what I wanted to work on, and I'm not sure if that's really good for hands looking at the video, but again, it feels really good to me, and I think that it will help my bench because it is a little bit wider than I've been training with in the past. However, we've always used bench as an accessory movement, so it's never been anything that's impressive. And this last set was 245 pounds.
2, 3.
And you can see as he's just driving in the legs each time, his hips get pushed a little higher into the air, and that's going to cause the butt to lift off, especially if you're getting a heavy weight on there and driving into the floor. And obviously in any sort of powerlifting federation, if your butt comes off the bench, the lift is disqualified. So we really want to train like we're going to lift. Granted, we're not training with pauses right now, but a powerlifting show, if we do it, will probably be after December, and we'll have to find one, and the plan is to do a USAPL, which is an IPF affiliate for benching. And then this is where we've been kind of stopping the last couple weeks, but our overhead is something that has really had some stalls in it. We've spent so much time training the dumbbell overhead press that, yes, we got better at it in the gym. Our technique improved. In 1 month's time, I saw a 15-pound improvement per arm. Actually, it was 20 on my left arm and 15 on my right arm. But we were just training the log, a lot of strict and a couple of push presses, but we never went heavy. So we're trying to get the reps in here. This is very light. All of these steps were done with 135 pounds, and this was immediately after the bench. So we're trying to get some mass built in, and again, work the CNS pretty hard. So the plan is Tuesdays we're going to do heavy overheads. We're going to do some weeks we're going to be in the 5 rep range, some weeks we're going to be in the triples, other weeks we're going to be doing doubles and singles, and then we'll do light bench following that. And then on the bench days, we will do light overhead, focusing on reps, trying to, again, work on some shoulder mass, getting some tricep endurance in there, and, of course, training the central nervous system. And you can see we're definitely getting less reps as the sets go on, but we were doing immediate sets after the previous person finished, so at most you were getting 30 to 45 seconds of rest, and that was definitely a very good tricep and shoulder pump, especially having done so many reps with bench prior to doing this. So again, I think that this will definitely help out on the overhead pressing, and we're going to be ramping this up. Now the end of this workout, I will go ahead and fast forward, but we did some bent over rows, and you'll see some body English in that, but that's alright for the bent over rows. It is, after all, just an accessory movement. There are no competitions for it, and if Ed Cohn says you can use some body English in your rows, then it's good with me, although we are trying to keep it as strict as possible. And then we were supersetting it with leg press. I honestly do not remember what we had on the leg press, whether we were increasing the weight or not, but typically on the leg press we start with something light like 400 pounds, trying to hammer some reps in. And again, what we're doing here, we've been neglecting back work because of the fact we've been training for the strongman competition, and we've also been doing a lot of hack squats. So I want to bring up the quads, again, build some mass so that we can start turning that into strength. And then we did some cable rows and some more leg press, and my camera actually ran out of space, and then we started doing pull downs and some GHRs, and we actually did some arm work for the first time in a long time. So again, the new plan for our workout program is going to involve doing some heavy work with the competition lifts, and then some rep work on the day we're not training that movement. So on deadlift day, we're going to do heavier deadlifts with some rep work. We will not train deadlift a second time in the week. We will be doing light squats on deadlift day for reps, and then we'll be doing the heavy squats later in the week, and then we'll do heavy bench on the same day as squats, and we will do light overheads and then heavy overheads on the day of the deadlift, or just overhead day and light bench. And definitely have to bring up the back and hamstrings were two areas that we found to be lacking in our training, and I think it's really starting to hold me back. And I do want to keep working on my lower back. As many of you know, I have some issues with my lower back. Tore my lats, tore my erector spinae, and I have a herniated disc. So I want to make sure that my lower back is healthy, and so far it's been feeling really good. Worked fine through the competition, haven't had any issues, but I'm feeling like taking so much time off the deadlift left me with a little bit less endurance and a little bit less strength in the lower back. So I want to make sure that I'm training that. And that's it for this video. I will be doing some videos coming up here that aren't just video logs. I know these are not exactly entertaining, but this is something that I want to keep for a record for Glenn and myself, so we can look back and see where we were in